Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Come in, get in. Good morning, the royals, the kings and queens of this land, the owners of the land, kings and queens of the land. Good morning. Good morning to ladies and gentlemen. I say good morning. My name is Mngonim Konto. This is the royal opinion. Today, talking about Panyaza Lusufi for the first time today. I share my opinion about Panyaza Lusufi, a very confusing character, according to me. Hard to tell whether Lusufi belongs to black people or to the colonizers. Very difficult to tell. The royal opinion being the most forensic political analysis. Today we want to analyze Panyaza Lusufi for the first time, talking about him in the royal opinion. I spoke about different characters and different individuals. I spoke about Gayton Mackenzie and I spoke about Musima Imane. I spoke about Julius Malema at length, very much at length. I spoke about Julius Malema. You can check all of my videos about. I also spoke about Thabo Mbeki, but this character, Lusufi, I haven't spoken about him because it's hard to analyze and get exactly where he is. I'll explain. Tshwane elected new mayor Nasiphi Moya. Nasiphi Moya, a woman, was elected by the Tshwane Council to become a new mayor of Tshwane under the leadership of Panyaza Lusufi. Panyaza Lusufi, the one sabotaging the DA in Gauteng, not giving them the space to govern as they would love to. Panyaza Lusufi removing the DA mayor in Tshwane to replace the DA mayor with candidate from Herman Mashaba, Nasiphi Moya. From ActionSA, Nasiphi Moya, the ANC in conjunction with the EFF and ActionSA, forming a government in Tshwane outside the Democratic Alliance. Helen Zille fuming about it, angry against Lusufi. I will tell you what is confusing about him. What confuses me about Panyaza Lusufi. First, I want to share, because Panyaza Lusufi says all the right things. I want to share this interview on SMWX. Panyaza Lusufi, hosted by Sizwe Mpofu. This interview, I think it's very detailed, but I want to share and dissect some of the things that he says in this interview, some of the things that made Fikile Mbalula to write him a letter to call him to meet the senior leadership of the ANC about his comments, his public comments. I want us to listen to the interview as we dissect it.
You can't govern. You can have a minority government, but the experience of local government means that we're going to have lots of vote of no confidence and other things. So I think when the leadership took a decision, therefore, to invite all the political parties that wanted to, and literally bar maybe one political party, all political parties were prepared to work with the ANC. So I think that the government of national unity was inevitable. It was a choice that we needed to embrace. And my only difference is that it's not the end. I see other people see that the government of national unity, it's the end. We have reached our freedom. This is where, I don't think so, I differ fundamentally. I really believe that it's a strategic setback, and then we need to prepare the ANC that can govern this country again alone, without any help from any political party. And it is possible, and we must. We must not lose that hope. What we need to do is to fix the areas where South Africans feel that the ANC has let them down. Then we all know them, that we need upright leaders, you need a state that can respond to their needs, and you need a state that is not corrupt. And we need to fix those things as quickly as possible, dust ourselves and concentrate on rebuilding an ANC that we can all be proud of. And I'm convinced that the real African National Congress will emerge with the real leaders, with the ethos that made this ANC to be supported by South Africans.
What do you make of alliance partners like the SACP? Its general secretary we had on this show, and I was quite surprised by just how candid Mr. Mapaila was, speaking about how disappointed the SACP was with the decision, particularly to ally with the DA. Of course, you can't make everyone happy in an arrangement like this, but what do you make of that kind of quite public condemnation of this coalition from alliance partners?
He has the right to raise his views. We fought for openness, frankness. He has the right to register his dissatisfaction. Because it's only when somebody raises that dissatisfaction that there will be a commitment to listen to them and try to resolve them. But if you want to suppress people's views, those views will go underground, and they're more dangerous when they're underground.
Yeah, sure.
If you understand, then we'll use the mechanisms that we have as the alliance to say, let's hear you. Because I don't think that we are all perfect. I don't think that the GNU that we have now, it's perfect to meet our ambitions of a national democratic revolution. It's a setback that will be celebrated by those that hate the ANC. It's a setback that will be utilized by those that hate non-racialism to say we got them. It's a setback that will ensure that the policy positions that we have on various components will be derailed. We have seen that with the Bella Bill, something very, very close to my heart. We have seen that with NHI, that because now we are caught within this Bella Bill, we'll be reminded we have lost power. don't just pass laws as if you are still in power.
This is Panyaza Lusufi explaining, describing his views, explaining his views about Panyaza Lusufi explaining his views about the GNU, his views about the GNU. Panyaza Lusufi saying the GNU is a failure. It will be regarded as a failure of the ANC, and it will be celebrated by those who hate the ANC. Panyaza Lusufi giving his views about the GNU, clearly being negative about the GNU. Panyaza Lusufi not happy about the arrangement that happened between the ANC and the Democratic Alliance to form what they call the GNU, the Government of the National Unity. So clearly, Panyaza Lusufi is not happy about it. One issue that Panyaza Lusufi has been advocating for is the Bella Bill. This is what get me confusing. This is what get me confused because the Bella Bill is an apartheid law. Panyaza Lusufi advocating for an apartheid law, the Bella Bill, but Panyaza Lusufi being negative about white people and being negative about the GNU arrangement. When is at the moment what I'm expecting from Panyaza Lusufi is against. Let me explain what I exactly how I would be. Why am I actually suspicious about Panyaza Lusufi? Panyaza Lusufi is advocating for apartheid laws on the other hand, which is the Bella Bill. Bella Bill is an apartheid law which seeks to criminalize black parents. I spoke about the Bella Bill in one of my videos. You can check out the video where I'm speaking about the Bella Bill. If you want to know my views about the Bella Bill, you can just go in under my videos where I speak about the Bella Bill. The Bella Bill is basically um, an apartheid law which is meant to criminalize black parents. But Lusufi is an advocate for such a law. But Lusufi at the same time he removed the DA from leadership in Tshwane. At the same time, he refused the white people from governing in Gauteng. He goes out and form a different government from what the ANC has formed national. The ANC has formed an alliance on a national level with the Democratic Alliance. But provincially in Gauteng, Lusufi did not go with the national leadership. He goes and form government with smaller government, with other progressive or with parties from the progressive caucus. He forms government with parties from the progressive caucus. That is Lusufi. And Lusufi advocating for merging with the political organizations that are aligned to the thinking of the ANC. Let's continue and listen to this interview.
Yeah.
So those limitations, we must be honest, hamper the National Democratic Revolution, and therefore we need voices that can raise limitations about them and say, no, this is not the way things are. I mean, the removal of the mayor of Tshwane
Yes.
have genuinely exposed
Absolutely.
and addressed those that believe they've got the birthright to govern. That where we govern, don't touch us. If you touch us, you will see who we are. Forgetting that they themselves, where they govern, they don't want the ANC closer. So
Sure.
So GNU has its own limitation, challenges. I've seen people celebrating 100 years. It's an achievement. No one gave us a chance that two competing political parties and many other political parties can establish government and government functions. So it's work in progress where I stand, but it's something that we must not forget, that in the ultimate end, it's not the vehicle that can take us where we want to go. The vehicle that can take us where we want to go is the African National Congress that have recovered from its weaknesses, is the African National Congress that can run this government alone.
Now, in this period of coalition formation, and different things have happened in different metros and municipalities, provinces, and of course nationally, I've been a bit surprised because there's been an attempt to portray you as some kind of, quote, and I quote, wedge driver, as a threat to the GNU. Of course, we had Helen Ziller recently talking about how you are trying to be the tail that wags the dog. Adrian Basson had this to say. I actually have to read it because I nearly fell off my chair. He said, Ramaphosa needs to take charge and show Lusufi who's the boss. And then effectively said that the Gauteng province must be placed under some kind of administrative leadership, basically begging Ramaphosa to, I don't know, remove you from Gauteng. How you respond to this narrative that has started to grow around you from some quarters that you are trying to divide the coalition government?
Panyaza, Lusufi, refusing the DA in Gauteng to govern, removing the DA mayor in Tshwane, showing clearly his intention that he does not want to work with the Democratic Alliance. Helen Zille already going for Panyaza Lusufi. But what should actually happen, if Panyaza Lusufi is real, they should be able to remove him. If Panyaza Lusufi is for the liberation of black people, Helen Zille has got power to remove anybody from any position in any organization at any time she wants. She should be able to remove Panyaza Lesov. The reason I think Panyaza Lesovi is not removed, because I think he's not a genuine leader of black people. I think the characters the characters in politics are such that they are so confusing. I think the strategy about Panyaza is in the ANC, there are voices that are as radical as Panyaza, and they are in majority as we speak in the ANC. There's a lot of ANC members on the ground who've got the view that the GNU is not going to work for black people. There's quite a huge number of black people who've got such a view in the GNU, in the ANC. So if you want to keep that population of people who believes that working with the far left parties like the MK party is actually the right thing to do, if you have such a person in the if you have such people in the ANC, such members in the ANC, then you need a leader who is going to keep them there, whom they are going to still have hope that we still have leaders in the ANC who holds our views. But on the other hand, continue to sell black people. We should not be confused about what people say. We should actually listen, watch, not only listen to what they say, because what they say and what they do is very different. We should actually observe exactly how they act. Let us compare their actions with their words. I am convinced that Panyaza Lusufi has been doing what he has to do in the ANC to remove uh, the DA from power in Gauteng and to remove the DA from power in Tshwane. I agree that that is a very good move. That's a very good thing to do. But I have a challenge believing in Panyaza Lesofi if he's kept in the ANC, because Helen Zille has got the power to remove him if she wants. So if she keeps him there, there should be a reason why she keeps him there. And the reason I think she's keeping him there, it's actually to keep the members who are radical, who will feel uh, uh, like the ANC is totally outside their reach, who would feel like the ANC has totally alienated them. If leaders like Lusufi does not exist in the ANC, there are other people who are holding on to the ANC because of leaders like Panyaza Lesufi. So if you've got people who are holding on to the ANC because of leaders like Panyaza Lesufi, you want to keep Panyaza Lesufi in the ANC if you are a Democratic Alliance, because you want to take their votes and use them for your benefit. And you want to keep as many members in the ANC or of Ramaphosa as possible. So I suspect that the strategy that the GNU has implemented about Panyaza Lesufi, or the character Panyaza Lesufi, I suspect this is not uh, uh, my final analysis. This is only my suspicion that Panyaza Lesufi may not be a genuine leader of the people. The reason I suspect that it's because he also passes laws that are against black people. So Panyaza Lusufi, if it's for black people and for black leadership, I feel he was supposed to be at the MK party. If he's not in the MK party, he was supposed to be hidden. He was not supposed to be as clear as he is that he does not agree with Helen Zille. He was supposed to be underground. If he's not underground, then there's a purpose why he's kept there. There's a purpose why he's exposing himself like that. The Deputy President, Paul Mashatile, also is a radical element of the ANC. But the Deputy President of the ANC, Paul Mashatile, is hiding. When you listen to him, when they interview him about these issues, he's very careful about how he comments about the GNU, about all this arrangement, because he does not want anyone to realize that he's actually just hiding behind, waiting for his opportunity, but he does not really agree with what is happening there. He's just acting like he's agreeing with what is happening, because that's how he should actually act, in order for him to be kept into the ANC, or in order for him to be kept and be given a chance to lead the ANC. Let me show this comment, because I have nothing to hide about myself. Mutlokwa Chui. Motloka Chui. I think. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name there, but Motlokwa, I can see that I'm pronouncing right. Saying, stop smoking marijuana, boat, and stop being scared of Helen Zille like a little boy. So for him to be a genuine leader, he must join MK. The sooner you stop the things you smoke, the better. Okay, first let me clarify. I don't smoke. For you, just for if you are interested, Mr. Mutlokwa. I don't smoke anything. I don't smoke even cigarettes. So that one, let's take it out. But what I'm talking about when I say Lusufi, if he's a genuine leader of black people, I'm not saying he was supposed to be in the MK party. That's the only place he's supposed to be. Of course, that's the only place he's supposed to be. But uh, he could be strategically hiding in the ANC. But when he decides to expose himself, then it means he may the reason he exposes himself, he's not afraid to be removed by Helen Zille. Helen Zille does have the power to remove anybody in the political scene. Helen Zille has been removing people. Helen Zille has even placed President Ramaphosa where he is. He's placed even Fikile Mbalule in his position as General Secretary, And Helen Zille has removed President Zuma from parliament. She also removed John Shope from parliament. She can remove anybody she wants to remove. She's been given power by the constitution to do so. So um, um, uh, um, I'm not afraid of Helen Zille, but I know of her abilities, the powers that she has. She's been given. The powers that she's been given by the apartheid system in South Africa, or by the colonial masters. Just putting in a charger there. Mm. My battery was dying. I was just putting in a charger. Sorry for that. So Helen Zille uh, has been given powers by our colonial masters, the British, those who rule over us, the white people who have established themselves on top of our heads, the ones who rule cruelly using the force, the guns. They use the guns, they use the force and the guns to rule over us. So Helen Zille is a custodian of apartheid and colonialism in South Africa. She is the one who monitors that all the things that our colonial masters want get implemented in South Africa. So I'm not afraid of her. I'm just aware of her role, Mr. Mutlokwa. And if you can fairly observe as well, you can see that Helen Zille plays a role very well. If you want to agree with me, she plays a role very well uh, in South Africa, because she does remove the people she's supposed to. She recently removed John Shope in the JSC. She's recently conducting interviews because she wants to hire her own person who will run the Western Cape High Court. That's what is currently happening. Uh, we just have to open our eyes to realize that do happen, and it's true. So, Lusufi, my expectation, back to what we are talking about, I like the fact that they removed the mayor of the DA, the Democratic Alliance in Tshwane. That is a very good leadership from Panyaza Lusufi. I like the fact that he does not agree with the current arrangement that the ANC is having with the Democratic Alliance. I like that fact, and I agree with that fact that he does not want the current arrangement. But the challenge that I'm having with Lusufi is the fact that he's not being removed in the ANC at the moment, and the fact that he's talking clearly against the GNU while he's involved there. If he's clearly talking against the GNU, he's clearly exposing himself to the GNU. He's exposing himself to the GNU. And normally, they would remove you if you expose yourself like that. So if they don't remove him and keep him there, there should be a purpose. He's serving a certain purpose, and this purpose that is serving, I suspect that is to keep the majority of the members of the ANC who want the ANC to be as radical as the MK party, but does not want to move from the ANC, to give them hope that there still exist leaders in the ANC who are as radical as its membership, while the whole leadership of the ANC has already sold out. I say I don't trust him because I know his views about the Bella Bill. The Bella Bill is an apartheid law which seeks to criminalize the black parent. He is the advocate and a purport. He is an advocate and a purport. What is the English word? What is the English word? A promoter of the Bella Bill, which is against black people. Click the like button and subscribe if you are coming here for the first time. My name is Mngoni Mkhonto, and you are in the Royal Opinion, the most forensic political analysis. This you can't find anywhere. This type of analysis is not available in the internet or in the world, except in the Royal Opinion. The subjects we discuss may be the same, but the way in which we dissect issues were the most forensic. Johanna Engelberg says, thank you very much, Joanna, for joining. Lusufi cannot be trusted. He has a big mouth and is full of himself. He is EFF man. They can only cause chaos and distraction. Lusufi is against the GNU. Yes, that is Johanna Engelbeck. Thank you very much, Johanna, for joining us. And thank you very much for everybody who is joining us now at the moment. Click the like button and subscribe. This is the Royal Opinion, the most forensic political analysis on the internet. You can't find anywhere. Today, talking about Panyaza Lusufi, his actions very clearly against the GNU, very clearly against Helen Zille, but being kept in the ANC, I suppose, to keep the radical element of the ANC intact there, to keep the radical membership of the ANC intact, because you know how this politics works. The reason they kept, for instance, the EFF outside the GNU, the reason they kept the EFF outside the GNU, it was for black people to think that they still have another alternative outside the MK party, to confuse black people, to make them think that they've got another party that they can trust outside the MK party in the name of the EFF. So the EFF comes out of the GNU, act as a player, act as it is against the GNU, while it is actually for the GNU. So we have such characters even in the ANC. These characters are deployed and employed by the apartheid government because these are systems to govern people. These are strategies that can be used to govern people, confuse them, keep them confused, but at the same time, um, keep them hoping that somebody is there to represent them, while there's actually nobody to represent anybody. Christine van der Merwe says, shame, remember his father suffered under apartheid 30 years ago. He is entitled to be an arrogant ANC comrade. Christine. Oh my gosh. Very funny there. Mm. So I wonder if Panyaza Lusufi can be trusted by the ANC members, should be trusted by the ANC members, or Panyaza Lusufi should be trusted by South Africans. He is a leader who takes sometimes right actions, but sometimes destructive actions, like the Bella Bill that he advocated for. The Bella Bill is actually one of the disaster that is yet to happen in South Africa. Is the Bella Bill. Disasters that are yet to happen in South Africa is the Bella Bill. Criminalizing black parents, making them criminals only waiting for arrest. Give us your opinion, give us your views like Christine has done. Christine has shared her opinion with us. Johanna has shared her opinion with us. His opinion. And Mutokwa as well has done the same. Shared their views with us. Share your opinion. If you don't have any opinion, please tell us where you are watching us from. I want us to continue and listen to Panyaza Lusufi in this interview. I want us to listen how clear he is against the GNU.
Well, it's during the apartheid, we call it Stratcom. The apartheid regime established a machinery to badmouth or instill fear in white South Africans. So here it's the same script, but different actors. During that period, the apartheid regime said or punted a message of swart gevaar. That black people, if they take over, they will kill your children. Black people, when they take over, they will do all these bad things, drive you to the sea and all other things. Such an extent that on the eve of freedom, some people went into mountains, bought their food to stay there, and stocked food. Immediately after freedom or 1994 breakthrough, they then have this thing called Roy Gevaar. Everything is communist. Communist wants to take over the ANC, and when communists take over the ANC, your property is our property, your food is my food. So they punted that message. And when that message could not succeed, they identified certain leaders of the ANC. They called them hawks or radicals. Chris Hani, Joe Slovo, the leader that groomed me, Harry Kwala, Winnie Mandela. And so, no, these ones are good, but these ones, they're bad.
Yeah.
And that's how Christian was assassinated. So there were leaders that were labeled as bad leaders in the ANC. So the regime is doing the same with me. They know my view about Bella Bill. They know my view about NHI. They know my view about race. I hate racism with passion, Sisu. I hate it. But I'm addicted to non-racialism. You can't claim, because racists are mindless, useless, poor thinkers, selfish and greedy. They feel everything belongs to them and them alone. Any other person must join on their terms. So you must be this black person that listens to them, dance to their tune. And I'm not that person. I'm not going to do that. I'll never dance to a tune of a white person who's racist in particular. I'll never dance to a tune of somebody who feels that they're superior. I'll never dance to a tune on somebody that feels that they've got the birthright to control our lives and other things. They might have oppressed our grandparents and succeeded. They might have oppressed our parents and succeeded. We tested them and defeated them. And they can't reverse that defeat by wanting to oppress our children and our children's children. It never happened. And will be the last block to defend that. Whether they label us the way they want to label us is up to them. But racism is something that cannot be embraced, cannot be negotiated with, and cannot be tolerated. It must be crushed, and crushed mercilessly. We must not tolerate somebody who wants to hide behind the broomstick and say, no, this is my cultural right. I mean, how many cultures do you have? People from Venda, they have their culture. Who disrupted their culture? If they want to practice their culture during their national days, they do that freely in a free South Africa. Why a certain race believe that they must be alone, and they must be them alone, do things alone, take their children to a school alone. Any other culture must not come. If you want to come closer to them, you must make an application in your own country.
Why do you want to go closer to them? Why do we black people? Why can't we establish our schools in rural areas? Why can't we build schools for black children in rural areas that will be up to standard? Why do we have to force ourselves to go to white areas? Why do we have to go to white schools? Why do we have to force ourselves to white people? Why can't we leave white people in peace? Why can't black leaders build black schools which will be the children will be taught in African languages, not in a colonial language? Why can't that happen? Let me look on the comments, because I'm getting charged now about the whole issue. Joanna saying Lusufi is okay. Let me say put this one. Lusufi is a very racist. The Bella Bill is not an apartheid law. The Bella Bill is Lusufi's creation. He is against parents having any say in scholarship about how their children should be taught. Like I don't understand. I really agree with you there. Lusufi on the Bella Bill, like I really don't understand Why would anyone celebrate the Bella Bill, especially black people? Why do we celebrate the Bella Bill? The Bella Bill is a tragedy for parents. You don't have control over your own children. You don't have a say. It's like basically first they want to hand over your children from the age of 4 years because they want to do childhood development. They want you to hand over your children to the state from the age of 4 years. And parents could be arrested uh, when the child is absent from school. The language policy of the school will not be determined by the parents, will be determined by the department. Why would that be? Why do you want to take power from the people who are providing the kids? Why do you want to take power from the people who are the owners of the children? Why do you want to take black children and program them to be uh, slaves for the state and for the white companies as soon as possible? Why do you want to do that? And why do you want to criminalize parents who does not want to go for the colonial education that you are offering in South Africa? Why do you want to criminalize those parents? No, Mhle, good question indeed. Titan Jordan says, Lusufi, I've always known you to be do's. You'll fair what fucking do's. You what? I think this one is insulting. I don't know. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of people in the internet. It's like an ocean. We need to know that we do have quite a lot of people here. Some are okay, some are not that okay. Some eat good food, some eat bad food. My name is Mngoni Mkonto. This is the royal opinion, the most forensic political analysis you can get ever, not available on the internet except in the royal opinion. Doing better politics than the bought out characters in the name of political analysts who are public relation officers of the politicians, going there in the name of professors, while they are actually getting paid by politicians, acting like knowing politics and analyzing politics, while they are actually public relations officer and image enhancers of politicians. Here we do better and real forensic political analysis than anywhere else. Give us your opinion. Tell us what you think about the subject of discussion. Tell us what you think. Give us your opinion. Tell us how you feel. Uh, Tell us how you feel about Lusufi, the guy we're talking about, and tell us about how you feel about whether he's a genuine politician or fake, whether he's a real leader of black people or fake. Tell us your opinion. I'm not conclusive about him. I don't know. I just suspect. I must be honest. I can tell you conclusively that Julius Malema is a sellout. He's not a real leader of black people. That I can tell you conclusively. But I can't tell conclusively that Lusufi is a sellout. He's one of the most complicated in terms of, in my understanding, case study, because he's both good and bad. He's extremely good and extremely bad. Very gifted in his language. Very articulate. Very clear in his communication. No confusion. Very clear in his resolves. But is he genuine, or he is a paid up character, just like Julius Malema? Paid up character, just like Ramaphosa. Bought out characters, made to be slave traders for the queen.
Creating no-go areas in our country. It can be. And if I have to pay the price of insults because I'm standing firm on those views, if I have to pay the price of being recalled by a president because I'm standing firm on that, if I have to be insulted by Kokzile because I'm standing, let it be. What I know, it's quite clear that some of the media houses are hired guns, that some of the media houses lack the creativity and the analysis and the independence that they're supposed to uphold. And I was not surprised. You must check News 24 or Naspers, the first quarter of the declaration of political funding, who they funded first. They funded the Democratic Alliance. So whatever the Democratic Alliance, we know News 24 will be the publication that must amplify their message. You will check when News 24 was attacking former Deputy President Mashatile, which political party did it go to the Union Building to demand the resignation of? It's the DA. So I'm not worried about hired journalists to attack me or analysts. I mean, you check the last Sunday newspaper, 3 columns in the Sunday Times, one message, this Panyaza Lusufi. And there's no decision that I've taken alone. The decision to establish a government of provincial unity, it was the national office bearers of the ANC who took over the negotiations. They deadlocked with Helen Zille. I was in that meeting. He knows that they deadlocked with our national leadership. And the national leadership gave us the go-ahead to establish government after we've postponed the announcement twice. So why will they openly lie and say that we're establishing the government of provincial unity in Gauteng to spite at national leadership or to demonstrate that we are rogues? We are not.
And it was the same for Tshwane.
It was the same for Tshwane
So
as well.
you got the national go-ahead for that.
Yes. So they are barking at the wrong tree, crying at the wrong funeral, trying to establish whether they can link me to things that they've done worse. I can tell you shocking things where they're trying to recruit people to say things about me because they feel that there's nothing tangible that they can get to paint. You know, a leader that is not accused of being corrupt in South Africa is not a leader. So they must find a way of dealing with these particular issues. And
that's how the ANC work these days. When you are not, when you don't have any scandals or any corruption that they can hold on to or that they can actually use against you, you're not going to be elected into cabinet. You need to have scandals, which when they want to when they want you to do what they want and you are refusing, they can take you to jail for those scandals. So that's how they are selecting the cabinet these days. They check the people who've got scandals, which are undergrounds, and then after that, put them into leadership and force them to do the things that they want them to do. If they try and refuse, then they will be uh, taken to jail by their handlers or by their colonial masters. So Lusufi is talking about the very same issue here. He's talking about the very same issue where the leaders are targeted.
purely because of the standpoint that they've taken. In Sizwe, we remain strong. The DA is not a branch of the ANC. Helen Zille is not a member of the ANC. And the African National Congress must be given space and time to resolve its internal issues. It can't be pressurized by outsiders, where even a senior editor of a publication have the nerve to instruct our president to say, remove this one. It's not a black one, this one. The others leave them. They're good, black, they're cooperating. Only this one. The apartheid regime undermined my father. The apartheid regime took over my brother. The apartheid regime refused me to choose a career that I loved. The apartheid regime denied my family an opportunity to be a better family because they took somebody who was about to be a breadwinner out of that family. We've gone through pain. But what did we say? We want to live together with you. We didn't say you have oppressed us. We didn't say you have thrown us in homelands. We didn't say you have denied us good education. It's our turn to oppress you. We said, regardless of the pain that we've taken through, we are prepared to stay with you. Those that we say we are prepared to stay with you are showing us the middle finger. Say, according to their culture, they don't want to stay with us, regardless of the pain that they've had. They've killed our brothers in June 16 in Soweto on the basis of language. Today, they want to behave as if they don't know why June 16 was there. It was a language thing that denied us a quality education. But they want to behave the way they want to behave. And they will not find it. They might have oppressed those that have oppressed, but will never oppress our children and our children's children again. And the Bella Bill, it's a stamp that cannot be erased. They can want 3 months to negotiate on it. It must be implemented the way it is, and no one must tamper with that particular. It was passed unanimously by Parliament, and it must be respected if they want to respect the law. They can't say we must respect private property clause of our constitution, but they don't want to respect the right of Parliament to pass a law and that law to be implemented. And they are now mobilizing literally everyone to denounce us, thinking that by demonizing us, the Bella Bill will not be executed. We are watching them, and they must know we are children of Oliver Tambo, children of Winnie Mandela, and children of Eric Gwala. We are not easily intimidated, and there's no enemy that thinks that they can do as they wish. We fought for this country, we'll defend this country, and no one will force apartheid or racist legislation through our throats. They can use culture as a smokescreen. Reality is that they are racist, they are greedy, and they are not even prepared to live with fellow South Africans, but they want the tax of fellow South Africans to only be concentrated to their children. It will never happen. Those
let me explain something. I want to explain something about white people. Um, what he's talking about here, being unaware, I think he's not aware or he's not well detailed or understanding about the issues that he's talking about. Talking about social engineering. What it's talking about is social engineering. Social engineering is the reason for apartheid. The reason why black people are separated from white people is the fear of social engineering. Social engineering means the mixing of black people and white people, or the mixing of different races, or the mixing of different cultures. But in this case, if you mix uh, black people with white people, if you put them together, if you allow them to become one, united, and equal, the problem is white people will disappear from the planet because their children, when they are girls, uh, their women start mixing or start marrying with black people, they are, because the black man is genetically dominant species. So when the white man sleep with the black woman, the black child will come out. When the white woman sleep with the black man, the black child will come out. So uh, it will really change and wipe out the existence of white people in South Africa or also in the planet, if that is allowed to happen. Why can't we leave white people to preserve themselves as they want? Leave them, uh, leave them alone if they want to go and stay in that place. What they call that place where white people say they want to be alone. Um, Please remind me of that place in the Northern Cape, in the Karoo, where white people have established their sort of like kingdom, where only white people are allowed to be resident there. I really understand why only white people are allowed to be resident there, because social engineering for them, it's too dangerous. It can wipe them out from the society. Black people does not have that fear because black people are genetically dominant. So if you don't understand this concept and you say let's mix with white people, why can't we leave them to? Why can't we live side by side with them, preserving themselves the way they want to preserve themselves, and us keeping ourselves as black as we want to keep ourselves? Why do we want to encroach in their spaces? We want the land, of course, they must give us our land. But why can't we allow them to exist the way they want to exist? Isn't it what freedom is? Allowing people to exist the way they want to exist. If they want to exist as white and speaking Afrikaans, let them exist as white Afrikaners speaking in Afrikaans. If people want to exist as Bapedi, learning Sepedi in a particular school, let them exist in that form. Isn't it freedom if it's like that? Why do we want to encroach in their spaces in the name of freedom? Click the like button and subscribe if you are coming here for the first time. My name is Mngoni Mkhonto. This is the Royal Opinion. Victor Shongwe says this is the most forensic political analysis in the internet. So that is our pay of light. The most forensic political analysis in the internet is the Royal Opinion. Click the like button and subscribe. Thank you very much for joining this live stream. Enjoy your day. This is where we're going to end. Give us your opinion, please. Give us your opinion about Lusufi. Tell us, what do you think? Is he a genuine leader of the black people? Is he a fake leader of black people? Is he a sellout? What do you think about Lusufi? I am certainly confused. Thank you very much.